Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to coaching. We're going to talk about knowing our why. And yeah, I've got, I guess I got the guide on how to do this. This is the Start with Why, Simon Sinek. If you don't have a copy of this is a good book to have. It's the perfect place to start when you're trying to write your goals and objectives for the year. So yeah, good resource to have. How many of you are familiar with this author, Simon Sinek? Chat it or raise your hand. He's got one of the most viewed TED Talks in, I guess, the history of TED Talks. I wouldn't even know what it's up to now. If I remember right, it's probably close to 20 million or something like that. It's just amazing. It's one of the most viewed TED Talks. And he talks about understanding our why and knowing our why. So so look, without any further ado, go to page 44. Let's take some notes on this. And I'm going to try to just show you here on the screen. There's, I guess I got to do it like this. Can you see that? That's the golden circle. It's also there in your book. But I'm going to I'm going to start us off and read this little example of what he means by knowing your why. So he uses Apple a lot, by the way, as a great example, because of kind of how they started, which is this rebellious kind of demeanor about them. And they wanted to take on big company, specifically IBM, if you know that story. So they were really attacking this idea that corporate made computers were not going to do what they needed to do and free people, free their mind and free their creativity. So they started off with that kind of rebellious perspective, and it really worked for them early on. And remember, today they're the largest company in the world. So and I think they just surpassed, help me out here, you investors, didn't they just pass the highest valuation ever? Boy, Don, you do have a copy. I just saw that. Good for you. But was it $1 trillion or something? It's way the heck up there. But look, here's what he says. Okay, so this is what he says. So like, if Apple were like most companies, a marketing message from them would move from the outside of the golden circle. It would start with the statement of what the company does or makes, followed by how they make they think they are different or better than the competition, followed by some call to action. Does that sound familiar? It's a very common marketing, model, right? You start with what your company does and how you're different or better, and then a call to action, like, buy our computer. With that, the company would expect some behavior in return. In this case, a purchase. So a marketing message from Apple, if they were like everyone else, might sound like this. So this is the poor example, right? We make great computers. They're beautifully designed, simple to use, user-friendly, want to buy one, basically like that, okay? And if you're in the book, it's page 41. Here's the better way, and this is what Apple does, profoundly great across all their devices and things. They start off with, everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. The way we challenge the status quo is by making our products beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. And we happen to make great computers. Want to buy one? So what they did is they started off with why they do it. You should catch that again. I'll read it again. So everything we do, we believe and challenge the status quo. Okay, so they're starting off with why they do what they do. So that fuels, okay, how and what they do. So I said in my email this morning, I said, a lot of us know what we do. You say, hey, oh, Craig, so what do you do for a living? And we would all do this, okay? Or I mean, someone asked me, Will, what do you do for a living? And I say it all the time. I say, well, I try to keep realtors out of trouble. So I'm saying what I do, right? And maybe if the conversation affords, or if they're more curious, I might say how I do that, right? So I might say something like, I don't know if you knew this, but real estate contracts today are extremely complicated. So what we do is we make sure we are the master of all this complexity in this language, and we keep people out of trouble by making sure their contracts are solid and they have their risk minimized or liability minimized. See, now I'm getting into how I do it, right? And this is where people's eyes gloss over and they go, oh yeah, it sounds cool, and then we move on to something like, how was boating last summer? Because who wants to talk about that? Well, so we know what we do, and maybe you've been asked the same question, well, what do you do? And then you answer how you do it, you might get into, but do you ever really hit on why you do it? Okay, so let's go back to this. Everything we do, we challenge the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. So, all right, time to interact here. Kylie, do you have a question or a comment or something? Sorry, I wasn't looking at my chat. So I would like to
No, sorry, that was just raising my hand about the book.
Oh, about the book. Okay, and so you got it, right? Got it answered? Okay, good. So all right. Here's the question. Well, look, I'm going to divide this into two things today. I think you need to understand your own personal why. Okay, and we need to define that. I'm going to help you do that today. It might take a little bit of time, meditation, some prayer, some thoughts, some, collaboration with friends and family about you might want to test it. I'll tell you what mine is personally, but I also want to see if we can define what Berkshire Hathaway is all about. Like, what's our why? What is Berkshire Hathaway's why? And I think we could all help define that. I've been trying to, think about what I would say our why is. But let's start off with that. What is our why? I mean, look, I could tell you what we do, and you'd say, yes, we help buyers and sellers sell property and buy property, right? And I don't think that that's a bad message, because that is what we do. How we go about doing that is very complicated. There's a lot of ways we do it. We can certainly talk about all the aspects of marketing. We can get into exposure is really important for sellers. Staging is in there, digital marketing, syndication is marketing, photography is marketing, video is marketing. My goodness, right? Your own discussion and presentation of the property is marketing. So there's so many aspects to this, how we go about doing it. Okay, but what is the reason? Okay, so Paige says to be the best in the business. Okay, keep these coming. I hope, and Paige, I love your interaction. I'm going to challenge a lot of this because I think we need practice on this. Can keep hitting me with what you think. Get your mind thinking. Be critical here. Okay, so what is our why? Okay, so Paige has injected the best in the business. Rachel's got, we help people with a major life decision. Okay. Keep it coming. All these are good. Get your mind thinking. Come on. Tell me, what is your purpose? What's your reason? Why do you go about doing this? And by the way, Simon will say, it's not money. Okay, it's not money. That's no different than any other business out there, is to say, well, I'm doing this so I can make money. You might say, well, I do this to make money so I can help my family. Again, not compelling. What is your reason? I'm going to look for the quote here, but keep them coming. Allison, making the buying and selling process seamless for our clients and have fun too. Great. So now we've got people in there. We've got best. We have now fun and, seamless, helping others and service. So we're starting to get that this is very outward. Good. Jessica says to help ease the stress, fear of one of the largest purchases in someone's people make in their life. Very good. Maintain integrity. Nice job. Gracia. Keep them coming. What else? How do you, do you already have this written down? Okay, tell you what, if this is hard for all of us, join the club, right? That's why we're having this, because it's challenging for us to put out there the real reason why we do something. And so let me get the rest of these. Being a trust, Jeff says, was to get my dream home. Now it's to pay for it. Okay. Tara says, trusted advisor. I want to champion my client. It gives me meaning. Good. To love, support, consult with individuals who are engaged in complex real estate related transactions. Nice. Now we've got other, emotional adjectives that are in here. We've got trusted, we got love, we have engaged, support. Julie says love the people and property. Paige, I love when I'm at the closing table, my clients tell me that they're grateful to have me as a realtor. Very good. That's the result of it. Very good. What a great payday that is. I completely agree, Paige. Hannah says to help agents best learn dot loop. Good. Contracting processes so they can give their clients a smooth experience. This can lead to clients coming back for more transactions. Very good. And you can see Hannah is tying her very unique role in the family to how it relates all the way out to the buyers and sellers. Hannah, you're a smart gal. Very grateful to have you on our team. And I'm sure all of us share that. And Kathy says, challenging and making people happy. I think this is really good. Kind of before I give you maybe the overall answer, can we pivot to you personally? And this is not just business, but you personally, what is your purpose? So why are you here? What's life all about for you? What is that grand, big, you come back to it every time. It's you can't run from it. It's who you are. And it's not that you wanted to run from it, but you embrace it even, and you're aware of it. So, do you guys remember the movie Anger Management? Anger Management. Remember this? Okay. Remember he's in the circle and, oh my gosh. You can't handle the truth actor. Who is that? Jack Nicholson, right. Jack Nicholson says to Adam Sandler, right? Have I got the actors right? Adam, yeah.
Yep.
Landon. Okay, thanks, Joe. So Jack Nicholson says to Adam Sandler, like in this anger management session, that he's been by the court order, he has to attend, right? And he says, so tell us, who are you? And he goes, and he says his job. I'm in marketing. He goes, I didn't ask you what you do. I asked, who are you? And I kind of guess I come back to that. It's very uncomfortable scene in the movie, because I think we all put ourselves in that position. If someone says, no, who are you? And you go, well, I'm a realtor. And you go, no, I didn't ask you what you do. I asked, who are you? And it's a little uncomfortable, right? And who are you as a person? So, okay, you're starting to weigh in here. Lena says the above and enjoy the flexibility of working for myself and dislike for punching a time clock for someone else's business. Good. Angie, becoming my best version of myself, my God-given potential. Nice, Angie. Kylie, set an example of a strong woman who is so happy in their career for my daughter, like my mom set for me. Nice. Very good. I like that. Everyone needs purpose, and this job, helping others, protecting our clients, enables us to feel a sense of accomplishment at the end of each day. Thank you, Allison, and I agree with that. Jill says, making a difference in people's lives, having the freedom to connect with others and share my joy. And Jill, you're very good at that. And Darren says, the passion of seeing friends, my clients get safe haven to share with their family and friends. I think we could all agree that this environment of real estate has a great field of play of opportunity to be fulfilled. I mean, you can get a lot of happiness from this business. No question about that. Well, let me share with you what my, have any of you heard me share my own personal why? You remember, maybe you don't. I've shared it before, but my personal why is to help others reach their God-given potential. And I can expand on that, but that really, I can't get away from that. Like, that's just who I am. So to help others reach their God-given potential. And I suppose in that process, I believe that helps me to become a better man. And that's often my prayer, is to be a better man. And how do I become a better man? It's usually, the answers are, well, they're almost always about what can I do to help someone else become their best version of themselves. So that's my personal why. And sometimes I'll go into this, well, why did I put God in there? You know, why did it say to reach my highest potential? Well, it's me confessing, I suppose, my belief that, I didn't make all this. Okay. This world that I'm a part of, my family, the beautifulness of life, it would be very arrogant for me to think that this is my show, And so I approach it that way, with kind of through those lenses, and that our maker makes us with this ability to reach heights that we don't even understand. So I don't want to put a lid on it either, And I suppose another reason why I put God in there. So to help others reach their God-given potential. It's amazing what the human ability is. Our business is a little harder to get to. But I wrote something down, and I wanted to, and maybe this is what I would call my passion statement about our business. I tried to, and I could sure expound on this, but it has 3 things, and it's not in your book or anything. So if you want to write this down, I'd like to debate it, and then I want to see if we can define more of our why. Okay. And a lot of these, there's no real wrong answer here, guys, if you haven't figured that out yet, but it's very personal to us. But if you want to write this down, are you ready? And maybe someone could scribe it in the chat for me, because it's going to be hard for me to type this out. Here it is. When client committed, highly trained agents with broad superior support lead the real estate transaction, the outcome is vastly superior to the opposite. Do you like that? I'll say it again. When client committed, highly trained agents with broad superior support lead the real estate transaction, the outcome is vastly superior to the opposite. So I was asking myself about how we challenge the status quo. And I think today it's pretty loud, the status quo about being a realtor in general. There's a very low entry point. It's not hard to become a realtor. I'll bet you we have 12,000 agents in our state who never have not done a real estate transaction in the last year. Okay, so to say that, and this is, I'm getting maybe down a little rabbit hole, but I can tell you what kind of irks me a little bit. I love being a realtor, okay? So don't get me wrong. I'm not a negative person. You guys know that. Every time I see a bus that says hire a realtor, I think that's the wrong message. It's the wrong message. Look, half the realtors don't do any transactions. That's not the message we want the public to have. So like any realtor will do the job is not the truth. And that's, so back to the statement. First of all, client committed. Okay, we have to have our heart focused on the client. Like we love these people. So today we were going to be doing a vision board. So let me throw something out again. I don't like about vision boards. I don't like vision boards that say, here's my bank account. I want it to go from here to here. My savings, this, that, and my car I want, the house I want, the furniture I want, the vacation I want. And all these things that I want for me is on my vision board. I wake up every day, I look at this vision board, I go out to every appointment, make every call, every lead follow-up. I'm thinking about all the things that I want, right? This is really harmful. How can we be client-centered if that's our vision board? Rather, so what should a good vision board be? What should it be? What should the images be on this board? What do you guys think? What would be a higher order bit here? What would be a more, I don't know, righteous is the first word that came out, but I don't want to be like arrogantly righteous. I just mean, what's enduring? You know, what's inspiring? What is the real fuel? See, again, I don't think that's the truth. I think most realtors, good realtors, I'm gonna say that, okay, good professional realtors that are client-centered, don't have those things front of mind. You know, they don't enter a real estate transaction with the calculator in hand and have already done the math and know exactly what they're going to make if this all works out. Okay, good realtors don't do that. Berkshire Hathaway agents don't do that. So what do you think the images should be? What should you look at every day that would remind you of our why? What do you think? And Debbie, you're front and center on the screen, so I'm looking right at you. You must have an answer to this because I know your personality. A lot of you I know feel this already, but what would you say? What do you want to look at every day that reminds you about your why? We've hit on this before, and but I want you to say it. I want you to think about it.
I think that I would rather have someone working with me that's honest and respectful and is going to do a job for them and not subject them to somebody that's going to put them through the ringer.
Yeah. Well, in our polls, every realtor poll that is done, the number one thing they want from an agent is trust. They want honesty, and this is in our manual. You can go and look at those. It's under the in it to win it section where I have the survey that is done every year. I just thought of something, Jeff, as you were talking. So thanks for spurring that thought. And I think that's very, very true. So back to my question, if we were to do a vision board, what are the images that we would want on there? Yeah. Look at our answers. Joe, are you serious? The forms manual? Yeah. I like the forms manual, but you know.
That was for you, brother. The big front center forms manual.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That's great. So the forms manual is under our how and our what, and helps accomplish our why. So I asked Debbie. Debbie weighs in. If you guys don't know Debbie Sexton, she works up in the Wasatch Back Saddleview operations. She's a fantastic lady, a true professional, and she definitely leads with her heart with her clients. And so when I am asking her what should be the image, she says happy clients. And I could not agree more. Okay, so if you want the bullseye answer, the center of a vision board should be an image of people we've helped and that we could help. Okay, that should be what you think about every single appointment, every call, every follow-up. It's all about them. It's never about you. It is not about your bank account, your vacation, your car, your house, your furniture. It's not about any of that. It's all about them. I thought that the Verbo commercial went into, I think they got it right. Remember this commercial? We played this before. It's the cabin. It's the mountain cabin. Hey, Joe, can you possibly find it? It's the Verbo mountain cabin commercial. It's 1 minute long. It's an empty cabin to start with, and then it fills up with people in the end. I think even though it's a vacation getaway and all that, if you think about, so write this down on page 44. Also know your client's why. Not just yours, not just Berkshire, but know your client's why. And Joe, when you find it, and I'm not talking about 44 in Simon's book, I'm talking about the coaching manual 44. Sorry, Sherry. Yeah. I would write that down. Also know your client's why. Okay. So Joe, when you find it, let me know and we can play it for everybody.
I've got all of them here. The issue is, I think the one they're named differently and the thumbnails are different than what we think, but I think I got it.
I think it's the mount. Yeah, it's kind of the mountain retreat. It's got a pool.
Little things in life are easy to take for granted. Like,
these are all kind of, I don't think we can go wrong. That's what I'm going to say. I think they're all basically the same.
Oh, it was like, here is where, grandpa and grandson bond over a chess match.
Yep. Yeah, I think, yeah, like I said, I don't think we can go wrong here.
Okay. Yeah, let's play it. Go ahead.
Let me just get one with some sound here. Hang on one second. All right. Okay. Get this zoomed in a little bit.
are easy to take for granted. The little things in life are easy to take for granted. Like getting away from the kids for grown-up time.
Big old creature.
Or getting away from the grown-ups for some kid time. Or just finding a private getaway that feels like home, but different. Vacation's not far away. Book the home that makes the vacation with Vrbo. The little things in life are easy to take.
Yeah, it's a good message.
Yeah, that's not the one, but that's
it's not the one, but the one is like first it starts off with an empty house.
Yeah.
And you've got
the font lays over and stuff.
Yeah, the checkerboard is in front of a fireplace and there's no one there.
Yep.
Right? Then it pans to the kitchen and says, in this kitchen is where the boyfriend will officially become family. There's no one there though. Then it pans out to this beautiful like walkway through the snow, and it's kind of a canopy of trees, and it's in its path, and it says this is where grandma and granddaughter will talk about college options.
I'm actually gonna run to the gym. Just
okay.
I know, crazy, huh? I just have the time.
Yeah, that's
okay. Someone's walking the gym. That's great.
I know which one you're talking about. I can't appear to see the thumbnail that makes sense to that one.
Okay. Well, hey, look, I don't need it.
I'll keep looking.
If you find it, great. But I think, then it has the pool and it says, here's where, cannonball contests will live in infamy. And, and then the next half of the commercial, the family fills in. So I think if we understand what a home means and the why behind our client, then we're better connected to this reservoir of fuel that is more meaningful than anything that is material or tangible to us personally. Okay. So, and this is a great way to write goals because they have to be dovetailed into our client's why, Berkshire Hathaway's why, and your own personal why. Okay. So the property serves a purpose, doesn't it? It creates an environment in which grandpa and grandson connect. It creates an environment in which the family could gather in a kitchen and share experiences that are very meaningful. Like no one would forget the day that, Stacy announced her boyfriend, John, who we've come to love, they're now engaged, right? No one will forget that. And it happened in the home. Okay. And grandma and granddaughter will connect about life. She will give wisdom and guidance, but it had to happen somewhere. And where did it happen? It happened in the environment And the reason why you buy a pool is so that there's laughter and, again, environment of connection and bonding and friendships. And, you know, that's the reason. And it's the reason we have ski properties. You know, it's the reason why there's all these reasons behind it, but it's a material thing, but it's unique in its ability to bring people together and build relationships. So knowing our clients' why is also really important, right? Our own personal and our Berkshire Hathaway why, and then also our clients' why. Okay. So our client centered focus is knowing their why. Okay, if you want to write that down. So being client centered is knowing their why and their reason and what's important to them. That's being client centered. That translates into the vision board. Ideally would be a picture. And look, I've seen all your faces. Steve Chin is absolutely amazing at building relationships. Steve, I think you've probably got a lot of pictures of past clients who love you that you've become lifelong friends with. That is a perfect image to have on your vision board as a reminder. The next friendship awaits you, you know? The next great friendship that's very meaningful awaits you. What a great way to approach it. You know, when Jeff said, what I really want is someone who's honest, he's so right. And that's what we want. Steve, you got a comment about that?
No, I was just saying, yeah, I have all their pictures on my shirt. Now you remind me, the new vision board will be their pictures on my shirt.
There you go.
Very good.
I love it. I love it. Look, I think there are some things. So is it just pictures of clients? I think that's great if it is, but it might be a little short on the reality of what it takes to love these people. Okay. So let me give you another idea about what I would think would be on here. So the next thing in that statement I made is that, go back, make sure I got it right, is highly trained. Okay. So we say client-centered, highly trained. The reason why are we highly trained is because we love these people. But how do I become highly trained? So you become what you study. So maybe our vision board this year is an image of something that we can perfect. And by the way, I want to tie something in. Look, I talked to Britton Covey yesterday. Look, does everyone know who Britton Covey is, or I have to explain it? You know, Britton Covey, star receiver, leads college football in kickoff returns, broke the Rose Bowl record for kickoff return, 97 yards in front of 90,000 people. Fantastic, right? Great kid. He's 24 years old. And he said something, and I think we need to emphasize it. Okay. So often when we talk about what our goals are, we talk about in perfecting something that's a weakness. And I think that that's fine. But he was reminded by a great mentor to strengthen your strength. Okay? Strengthen your strength. I hope you write that down. I'm going to strengthen my strength. So what his first day in the workout room, the fitness coach, okay, had weights on everybody. And this was just to warm up. He says their warm-up weight was my max. Okay. He's five. By the way, he told me he's 5'7".
Wow.
Okay? Yeah, he's 5'7", and he goes into the workout room, and the minimum is his max. Okay. So you know what he decided? Not to make now it didn't mean that he was absent to his weakness to make strong, but that wasn't his thing. That wasn't his go-to. That wasn't his vision board. His vision board was to make his strength stronger. So he put a weighted vest on, and he caught punts with weighted vest constantly. Okay. To where he built trust in his coaches. They would never drop that punt. Ever, ever, ever. It will never happen. But he had to make his strength stronger. Then he got very good at his cutbacks and changing direction with that weight belt on. That became his workout. That became his primary move. That's what he was so good at. So Yeah, you play to your strengths and you strengthen your strengths. So if we're going to be highly trained, I'm challenging you. What can you do to raise the level of your know-how? That should be on your board, and remember why you're doing it. It's for that family in the middle, right? It's for them. Okay. Another thing that should be great on your vision board is being physically healthy and fit enough to help someone else. You know, if you're not healthy, how can you, how you do it? You know, so we have to take time to, you know, look, we eat right, we work out, we exercise, or get exercise, work out. Look, I don't necessarily think I work out, but I try to get exercise. You know, it has a great positive effect on my mental health as well. Get out, get exercised. You know, you'll feel better about, and you know, about everything. You can't be a great friend if you're not healthy. You can't be a good mom. You can't be a good dad. You can't be a good professional if you're not healthy. So stay healthy. Okay. So another thing, so you guys writing all this down. The next one is finances, but I tell you what, how do I make finances not selfish? Okay, think about that. How do I make finances not selfish? Well, you want to know one of the best medications against commission breath? A savings account. Okay, look, if you're, it's tough when you're beginning, and I don't pretend to think it's just so simple, right? But if you're highly loaded with debt, no savings account at all, and you walk into a real estate transaction that has a potential of making a good amount of income, it's really challenging to not get attached to the outcome. You can't be attached to the outcome. All right? You're not at your best when you're attached to the outcome, because now you're not thinking about the family in the middle of the vision board. You're thinking about you. Okay? So I like having independence in financing. You know? Warren Buffett has a great saying. When the recession happened, he says, you find out those who are skinny dipping when the tide goes out. You find out those who've been skinny dipping when the tide goes out. You know, so the recession happens and you find out who's been living on credit cards. You know, you find out who's been, overly burdened with debt. I don't believe it's a good idea to borrow money for toys, boats, sports cars, side-by-sides, wave runners, four-wheelers. I could go on and on. RVs, campers, trailers. I don't think it's a good idea to do that. Is there an exception to every rule? I suppose there's an exception to every rule. Maybe we look through the lenses of mental health and it might be worth it. But you know what? For the most part, what I'm trying to do here is say that if you are personally burdened with finances, it's more challenging to not think about real estate transactions selfishly. Do you agree with that? My veteran, you agree with that, don't you? Yeah. Okay. So it's good counsel, not just from crazy Will, right? Okay. Good counsel. Okay. So the next one is, and I look, it's delicate only because I never want to offend anyone. You know, I hope you guys know I love you with all of our differences. Okay. I truly do. It would break my heart to think that someone doesn't get that. The next category for me is the spirituality and your soul. And this needs to be fed. The saying is, man shall not live on bread alone. Look, I just think you need to feed your soul. And how you go about doing that is as unique as the billions of people on this planet. But there is some commonality to it, and I would challenge you to seek your own journey there and find it. Because however you feed your soul, I promise you it's worth it. And it may be the most profound thing you ever do for yourself, is to feed your soul. But think about this, let's turn it on its head. What if we don't feed our soul? And what effect does that have? Now contrast it against feeding our soul and look at the difference. And it's really different. So I just think that that's a really good thing to have on our vision boards for this year. Okay. So let's recap all that. we've got our, going backwards, we've got our spirituality, we have our physical health, we have our financing, our financial independence, and we have studying our and strengthening our strength. Okay, and then we have that family and that person that we can help. So to me, guys, that makes an amazing vision board, right? And contrast that kind of vision board against someone who has the vacation they want to go on in one corner, a bank account in another, the new car here, the house there, the furniture there, right? Think about how it's different, isn't it? Okay, so maybe in the midst of all of these images, we're reminded of our true why is very compelling, right? This will fuel you to get up earlier, to exercise. It'll fuel you to study, right? It'll fuel you. I love Kylie, who said she set an example for her daughter. Remember, it's not you looking at you. It's everyone around you looks at you. And how do you prioritize? How do you goal set? How do you overcome fear, anxiety? How do you exercise faith? How do you sharpen your saw? What do you do? And there's a few things I'm proud of as a dad, but there are a lot of times my daughters came to the bedroom to say goodnight, and I'm holding a book, reading it. I'm reading something in bed, trying to study something. I am proud of that image. I hope they never forget that their dad studied, and you want to talk about getting someone passionate about something. Think about what your kids are learning from what you do, or your grandkids. I hope we find fuel there, because there's a reservoir for me that's endless, I'm going to add one more. This actually came up. I'm going to give some props to a couple of our agents here. I've heard this being said from Allison Riemschneider in a different way, Heidi Ingham, and Debbie Nyssen. So I'm going to throw something out there. And I think it's transactionally, it's a vision I think that you could take to every transaction. And it's also very biblical. So I'm sorry, I can't help myself. Things to me that are true are just true, but it's being a peacekeeper in every transaction and in every situation to not bring contention. So flip that on its end. We could be contentious, argumentative in transactions, helps no one. Throwing gas on fires only makes fires larger. Being defensive is gas, by the way. Giving someone a piece of your mind, that's just gasoline. Putting them in their place, telling them they're wrong, again, gasoline. But being a peacekeeper, saying things like, hey, I'm really sorry you feel that way. That was not my intent. That was not our intent. I apologize. That's not, we understand. Could you tell me more about that? I'd be happy to listening to your perspective. So I would put on my vision board something to remind me in every transaction to be a peacekeeper, be a peacemaker. And I think we can take that also to our families. We can take that to our teammates. You guys agree with that one? What do you think of that perspective? How many of you had realtors on the other end that seem like they're really good at throwing gas on fires? Yeah. Yeah. They make a hard transaction even more challenging, And it's personality, or you can say, well, it's how they go about it, it's their demeanor, they're argumentative and things like that. Allison's weighing in on the chat there. You can see, keeping everyone moving forward when it's to their benefit. You're a calming influence, I think, is how you said it to me once, Allison, you being the calming influence. Heidi has phrased it a little different way, but I've heard a lot of you guys say this through the years. But try to be a calming influence. Look, they're already stressed out. We don't need to add more nightmare to this, I think that's our role. Is look, if you're well studied, right? And you're a high level professional, I think that the way you know that's being leveraged is you bring confidence and calming to your client. Okay. All right. That's a great, great endeavor. The last one in that 3-point statement, I'll read it again. When client committed, highly trained agents with broad support lead the real estate transaction, the outcome is vastly superior to the opposite. Okay, so the next one, broad support. We say it all the time, it takes a village, it takes a village, it takes a village, it takes a village, it's team, it's team, it's team, it's team. It would break my heart to think that you have a problem in a transaction or a situation or in your business and you don't utilize the resources around you. The reason we have these resources, highly trained people in our company, the tools and technology, is so that they can be leveraged for the benefit of our client and for your own business. So please use that support. It's the reason we have them is to help you. Okay, so our heart is in it. Another way to say it is our heart is in it. I studied my strength. I strengthened my strengths, right? I'm highly trained and I utilize my resources. What a great thing to have, say, on a vision board is to remember those 3 concepts. Okay. Boy, I've said a lot today already. And I can tell, let's see what my watch says on my heart rate. where my Garmin, I can tell it's a little elevated. My resting heart rate, because I run a lot, is usually about 50. I usually, when I go in for a checkup, I usually trigger the alarm because it drops below 50 a lot. Yeah, I'm 81 right now. That tells you I'm sitting down. I'm pretty energized. I'm pretty passionate about this. I think this is a great way to grow and protect the culture that was, by the way, was here before I got here. And that's a tribute to the kind of agents we have, right, Steve?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, and
you're adding to it, so we love it.
Thank you. I hope to do that. And we try to be gatekeepers there and weed out those that don't support the culture. And for those who would add to our culture, we try to bring them in. So all right, I'm going to turn. Look, we've got a few more minutes. Any more thoughts on this from you? What are the takeaways here? So we've been talking a lot about why. My own personal why I should know. I should understand our company's why and what drives us. I should understand my client's why. We've broken down a vision board into, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 aspects. So that's the family or person I can help image. That's to be a highly trained and study. What could I learn and study? Financial independence. My physical health and my spiritual well-being. And then the last one is the calming influence. That's right. The calming influence, or be a peacemaker. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different aspects of what I would say is a great vision board. Are we missing anything? I'm sure we probably are. There's probably a lot of different things we could probably add that would be inspiring and not selfish and outward.
So Will, hey Will, I have a couple of things.
Yeah. Yes, please, Steve.
So when you said why about the clients, I think this is really helpful because I think that sellers now, are wanting to hit the double, triple home run, and they're upping prices. They're often not listening to us, and I found like your comment really understand the why about your client, and I think sometimes we forget what really is their motivation, and we need to ask them. And because we've had a couple of situations and they all vary. Like guy goes, hey, I don't care. I want to hit a home run and that's the way it's going to be. And if you're not on board with me, then I don't need you. I mean, they're being more blunt. And I think that need to understand that well. I think also we found this is still same old school. What do you like about your house? And we did a presentation and asked them, they go, wow, thank you for asking me. and then went through a litany of things. It's good for our copy. It makes them feel like we're vested in what they think. I mean, I think those are just some little things that
Yeah.
I often forget to ask about
Yeah.
why, what's driving them, what do they like. So anyway, just a little snippet there.
Yeah, very, very, very good. You know, that saying is the main thing is don't forget the main thing, you know, and this is all this topic today. The reason, the purpose, the why, understanding the client's main thing. What's our objective here? What's our goal here? I want to make sure I don't just leap over it and make no assumptions. And we're clearly, you know, communicating what that is. When they know you have it, now trust, right?
Right.
So I know Steve understands exactly what I want. Now I'm good to move forward, you know?
Right.
So very well stated. I really do appreciate that. And so in the chat here, will you please put the quote regarding productive agents in the chat? Rachel, which one were you saying? Is this the one I keep referring to? When client committed, highly trained agents, that one? Okay. Okay. You're going to make me type it? My computer is, look guys. Oh wait, my camera's not on. I've got this dumb background, but it's sitting on an Amazon box.
Will, you say it, I'll type it in the chat.
Okay. When client committed, highly trained agents with broad support lead the real estate transaction, the outcome is vastly superior to the opposite. So there's 3 legs to that: client committed, highly trained, and superior support or support. There it is. Thank you. And then those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items of a better vision board are the family image or a client image, study, financial independence, physical health, spiritual health, and calming influence. What a great image to have every single day I wake up and go, oh yeah, this is why I do it. You know, and look, it's kind of getting into the golden circle of how and what I do. So it's going to translate into that. It's going to translate into daily things I do, which is my what, and my how do I become highly trained. I'm going to study. I mean, I become what I study, you know. The happiest moments of my life and most fulfilled moments of my life are certainly when I've leveraged what I've learned to help someone else. It brings a great sense of pride and joy, you know. You're like, oh my gosh, that's right. This would help so-and-so, you know? And I really appreciate that. So many of our answers to our problems lie within other people. Try to remember that our maker did not put us, you know, in isolation. Matter of fact, Britton Covey is going to talk about mental health, I think, a little bit. His charity is suicide prevention and mental health issues that are plaguing us a little bit. And a great way to combat, you know, depression, anxiety is to serve others, exercise. Look, it's all on here. Don't be centered on your own problem. Focus on someone else's. When you kind of kick your own problem to the curb and start helping someone else, boy, it starts to evaporate. And then when you study and sharpen your saws, you feel a lot better, right? I know we're about out of time. Anything else? I tell you what, if there's a takeaway that you thought of that we got to get, I want to write it down. Will you go ahead and put that in the chat for a minute? And Joe, you did find that commercial, right?
I did.
Let's go ahead and play it. It's only 1 minute, guys. Look at the messaging about the why someone is going on a vacation, but it's very akin to why someone purchases a home. Okay, go ahead and play it. I think I've memorized it, but I don't have sound. I think hit your sound, Joe. That was the canoe that the couple's going to get gloriously lost in.
That's right. Gloriously lost in. All right. I think I got the right mic here. Okay.
This is the canoe that a young couple will get gloriously lost in together. This is the checkers game where grandson and granddad will bond. These are the woods where a daughter will tell a mother she's nervous about starting a new school. This is the pool where cannonball records will be broken. This is where new parents will remember life before becoming new parents. And this is the kitchen where the new boyfriend will unofficially become family. These are the Verbo vacation homes waiting for you to fill with your family. Your together awaits. Find it with Verbo.
Nice. Nice. Does that resonate? Yeah.
Yep.
Look, we're out of time. Anyone want to comment anything real quick, or are we good? Steve, you're unmuted. You got something you want to add?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay.
You're good. Yeah.
Oh, thanks, you guys. So look, at Berkshire Hathaway, we're family too. We should be very approachable. We should be very real. One of our slogans this year is get real about real estate, but I think it means being a real person too. It's not just the seriousness of the complexity of getting real about real estate, but it's also being a real authentic person. And to make sure you communicate that you get it too, that you have family and friends, and this is what you love about your home, and that you want the same thing for everyone else, and that you're very approachable. That's Berkshire Hathaway, right? Anyway, I love you guys. Have a fantastic day. Thanks for contributing to this session today. Don't miss next week. And if you have anyone you want to invite, it's okay. You can invite them. You can share the link as long as they're not disruptive, right? So, but if it's family and friends that they love Britton Covey or a U fan, and it's fine. If you want to have them join, that more the merrier is fine with me. I'd love to impact a teenager's life if that's possible, or a young person who needs some inspiring uplift. I think that would be very, very well worth it. So anyway, don't miss that next week, and have a fantastic day. Okay, thanks guys. You can stop recording.